ladies, practice is complete. Please, no more deliveries. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please remember that flash photography is strictly prohibited during competition. Please, out of courtesy for the competitors, set your cell phones to vibrate. And remember that the area in front of the counter is considered the field of play. It is reserved for tournament participants and tournament officials only. Ladies, when your lanes come on and your arrows come up, you are ready for competition.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Orleans Bowling Center here in Las Vegas, Nevada. As the 2016 USBC Senior Queens rolls on. Our continued live coverage, wire to wire, as we begin round 3 this morning here at the Orleans. Along with Aaron Smith, my name is Emil Williams Jr. and we appreciate you tuning in. Those of you who have checked us out yesterday, watched some great action and some great bowling from some of the best senior women in the world. Coming into round 3 this morning, your leader is Tish Johnson. Tish, needless to say, in round 2 on the burn in the second block yesterday afternoon. Fantastic. Shot 1152 for 5 games. And that's moved her to a final total of 22-22, or an average of 222.20 at plus 222. So I'd advise you guys to add some 2s to your numbers today. It might be the lucky one. Tish is followed by 2-time defending champion Robin Romeo. She's at plus 187, 218.7 average. Barbara Batt in third. She bowled fantastic as well. Had a great second block, including a 266 game. She's at 2155, averaging 215.5. In fourth is Sharon Powers with 2124, 212.4, and in fifth is Sharon Aronson at plus 115. Sharon from Turtle Rock, California. Sharon Powers from Lakewood, Colorado. Barbara Batt from Jacksonville, Florida. Robin Romeo from Newhall, California. and Tish Johnson from Colorado Springs, Colorado. Our feature pairs remain the same, 17 through 20, and of course a little bit of what you can see to the left and the right of those particular pairs. On 17 and 18, we saw Beth Owen Chipileski a couple of times. Had a solid day. Maria Sutphin also on 17 and 18. Along with Camille Koner on 19 and 20. Inger Bordalazzo on lane 19. She's about to step up on 19. She is joined by her crossing partner, Jeanette Baker, two-time AMF World Cup champion from Australia. USBC Hall of Famer Linda Kelly. And Roseanne Costanzo. On our pair, coming into today's round, Beth Owen Chipileski at -3. She sits in 13th place. Got 1020 the first block, 977. And the second block, relatively consistent second block, started with 166. Then 193, 192, 194, then got some pins back with 232 on the end. So she's in great position. Camille Koner sitting in 49th at -220. So she'll need to make a run. Had a tough first block on the fresh. And see what type of adjustments she may have made. Or will make, I should say, what type of adjustments perhaps she thought about. And resetting the game plan. Maria Sutphin in 64th at -296 on 19 and 20. Jeanette Baker sitting in 20th. -24. Made up a lot of ground in the afternoon squad on the burn. Shot 884. The first block, 1092 on the burn. So Jeanette able to decipher the burn and have the right reaction to make up a lot of pins. Again, sitting in 20th, Inger Bordalazzo. She is in 57th at -256. Saw Inger a little bit yesterday. Throws the ball very well. If she can get going here early, get some early success, I'd be surprised if she could possibly make a run. As well as Maria Sutphin also. Camille Koner. Kind of in that same boat, needing to, of course, make up some pins in a hurry. Best way to do that sometimes to get off to a great start. Roseanne Costanzo in 15th at -16. Pretty consistent day. 10:02 first block, 982. And the second block, including ending games of 211 and 235. And finally, Linda Kelly in 10th place. Linda also made up some pins in round 2. She's at +36. Your round 1 leader was Julie Harrison from Australia with 135 over. And the first block, but struggled in round number 2, but she was able to benefit from such a strong start. Did not fall out of the cut number. And based on the 2 blocks, of course, you would think she is comfortable on the fresh and should be able to make up those pins and more potentially. The cut line currently is Robin Flynn. That is the 32nd spot. She is at -83, 191.7. 191.70 to be exact. Shot 10-16. Nice block of 16 over in round number 2. They're going nearly 100 under in round number 1. She is the cut line currently. As we begin the day this morning, game 11. Australia is well represented here at the Senior Queens. We mentioned Robin Flynn, Jeanette Baker, who you are watching now, Julie Harrison, the round 1 leader. Four participants from down under. 3 of them currently in the cut line. Other countries represented. Our sport is so global, and I don't think people understand the reaches of our sport. Canada, Mexico represented as well. Deb Lee in 30th, representing Canada. Adriana Ortega in 21st from Mexico. We saw Margarita Ramos as well yesterday. She is near the cut line, currently tied for 37th. -134. Again, good morning to all from wherever you may be watching. Feel free to let us know where you are watching. Hit us up on Facebook or Twitter. USBC, the Sport of Bowling on Facebook. Be sure to like the page. Check us out on Twitter at USBC. Want to send Aaron or myself a note? Let us know how bad we are. Just playing. You can do that as well. Aaron's on Twitter. Aaron, of course, Public Relations Manager for the Women's Championships, the USBC Women's Championships, currently held right here in Las Vegas. Get a chance to check out the South Point Bowling Plaza venue. Haven't had a chance to see the new additions. A chance to check it out after our Queens action yesterday, and it is certainly a phenomenal venue. So if you have an opportunity, haven't checked it out yet, you come to Vegas, let us know. Be sure to check that out. It is a phenomenal venue. If you are bowling the Women's Championships, of course, as well, good luck. And again, Aaron always posting and talking about great things from the Women's Championships. Of course, in other events, he can be found at USBC Aaron. I can be found at EWJR. One of the one of the probably lone remaining 4 character handles. We are here at the Queens. We'll also be next week here, of course, later this week, I should say, into next week with the USBC Queens. And then we will also continue on with our PWBA action as well, where I'll be found most of the time. We've got 3 shows to tape. But again, if you're unfamiliar with the new season PWBA, new format, partly due to CBS Sports Network and the great TV coverage that the sport of bowling will have. 23 events on CBS Sports Network actually started last week with the Intercollegiate Singles Championships, the women's show. Last night was the men's show, and that will run all the way through, folks, the summer, which will include PWBA events, 13 of those if I'm not mistaken. Junior Gold as well. Junior Gold will be live streamed, and there will also be tape television shows just like last year. So big ups to CBS Sports Network, and again a great opportunity for the sport to be showcased to a national audience. So the Las Vegas Open, the Sonoma County Open will be taped on May 26th right here at the Orleans. And then the USBC Queens will be live. Again, let me reiterate that, folks. The USBC Queens will be live. So if you are in town, we certainly recommend you come out and see the excitement in person. Nothing like watching a live show on TV, but nothing like being at a live show in person. You'll follow that with the Storm, PWBA Storm Sacramento Open. Mentioned the PWBA Nationwide Sonoma County Open. Big thanks to all of the sponsors for the PWBA, Smithfield, Nationwide, the Gold and Silver partners as well. Go Bowling, Pepsi. I'd like to thank all watching in the chat room. Hello to Randy, Brian, Corrine, Rebecca, and Larry. Brian has a good question. Will Tish hit the live stream at all today? Let's check that out. Tish Johnson will hit our pairs. She will hit 19 and 20 in Game 4 this afternoon. Again, that is Game 4 when Tish Johnson will hit 19 and 20. This is Game 1, of course. We are nearly through 7 frames on 17 and 18. Maria Sutphin with the .136 up to take care of in her 7th frame. Over on 19 and 20, get a good look at Linda Kelly. And Linda with a double, blown open in the 4th frame, so she gets back on the strike train. Linda, the USBC Hall of Famer. There's Inger Bordalazzo. She'll take care of the 2-4-5. 10 pin on the left side there on lane 17 for Camille Koner. early on the East Coast, or I beg your pardon, on the West Coast. Local time, 8:19. It's already late morning on the East Coast. If you are watching from the West Coast, we appreciate it. And this is the fresh oil. Match play will begin at 1 p.m. on the fresh as well, and then there will be a burn squad also during match play. And there might be two, if I'm not mistaken. Take a look at the pairings in the bracket. Don't forget you can check all of that out on bowl.com. Find all of your Queens information. Go to the tournaments tab, scroll down to senior, and you'll see the Senior Queens event. A 40-foot lane pattern using the Kegel Fire oil. Shout out to, of course, Kegel, taking care of the lane maintenance and conditioning here at the Senior Queens. Second chance, I got to see my man Eric Pearson. Saw him a couple weeks ago. Eric has come on out to Vegas as well. He will, again, handle the lane maintenance. Nice shot by Roseanne Stanzo. Nice double. She is clean through 7 on 19 and 20. Saw some big scores on the burn yesterday, and of course we'd expected to see some. I don't think I was expecting to see as many, but well, you mentioned, you know, bowlers are good here. There's just no doubt about that. So they will find a way to strike and make the lane seem easy. Saw a lot of competitors make a jump, struggling on the fresh, had some success on the burn, and vice versa. And so, of course, today is the day, folks. No more qualifying, no more games. Five games today, and that is it. Tenth frame finishing up on lane 17 and 18. Rhea Sutphin, the 310 to deal with here. Spare will put her in the high 180s. Such a big spare, and she knew it. Okay, we appreciate everybody joining us again in the early morning on the West Coast. Thanks to all for viewing. John, if you'd like to, I would refer to the rules on pwba.com. Those are there for viewing. .192 for Beth Owen Chipoleski. She made a key ball change at the end of round one. Fell there to a nice 240 plus game. See if she can continue to come back to fresh. Tenth frame on 19 and 20 as well. Linda Kelly. Spare here in the 10th. She'll have an opportunity for 203 with a strike. Textbook. Senior Queens step ladder will take place Thursday, which is tomorrow. Pardon me as I tend to get the days mixed up with my travel schedule. I believe at 6:30 local time. Again, wire-to-wire coverage here at the Senior Queens. Linda with a 202. Inger with 6 spare here in the 10th. She can max at 156. Just off to your distance, you'll see Sandy Schultz. Sandy, their second shot in the 10th frame. This is the head pin right there. Will wash out. And an opportunity for 203. We saw her grind yesterday a little bit at a clean 186. .155 for Montelazo. Roxanne had a key triple in frame 6, 7, and 8. 9 spare in the 9th. And we'll chop the spare here in the 10th frame. She'll get to 202. Here is Jeanette Baker. That one's got to get up the hill. It will not. Wash out in the 10th. A makeable split. She missed the head pin there. Lucy Sandelin. For those asking in the chat room, of course, right here on 17 and 18, along with Lilia Johnson. Deb Lee and Lisa Wasson. That's a good pair to check out. Baker will get 2. And she will finish with 179. So game 1 in the books. Round 3 of the 2016 USBC Senior Queens. Lucy, no stranger to Queens' success. Won this event 2 times. Last in 2013 and in 2007. 10-time Team USA member. The first American woman to win the AMF World Cup. That's just a sprinkle of what Lucy has done in her career. See Lisa Wasson starting things off. Won't get the help on the messenger. She finished 3rd last year. Came in as the 5th seed. On 19 and 20, we have Margarita Ramos, Pam Buckner. And Jenny Bird Douglas from Australia, JBD. Now, folks, joining us momentarily, and the owner of Las Vegas, who knows just about everything about the Women's Championships, Aaron Smith.
Well, thank you for the kind introduction, Emil, and a good morning to everyone joining us here on Bowl TV for the 2016 USBC Senior Queens, already into Game 2 of the final qualifying block. The last push to make a run into the top 32 to make it to the double elimination match play bracket. We got the onside bracket sitting right behind us here on lanes 17 through 20. Question in the chat about Tish Johnson coming to our live stream pair. She's going to be on lanes 19 and 20 in Game 4. So 2 games from now, we will have the USBC Hall of Famer and tournament leader through the first 2 rounds joining us. Tish got presented a trophy for leading the second block of qualifying. We'll also award whomever leads round 3 as well as the overall tournament leader all get trophies, so they're pretty nice. Some cool designs. That's Game 4. Game 2. We're joined on 17 and 18 by Lilia Johnson, Lisa Wasson, Deborah Lee, and Lucy Sandlin. On 17 and 18. Lucy, a 2-time champion in 2007 and 2013. Also a USBC Hall of Famer, longtime Team USA member. On 19 and 20, another Hall of Famer, Pam Buckner, the 1976 Queens champion. She's joined by Michelle Silver, Jenny Burton Douglas joining us from Australia, and Margarita Ramos from Mexico. So this event has gone international. Got some of the top players from all across the globe joining us here in Las Vegas. For the 2016 event, we are at the Orleans Bowling Center in Las Vegas. Big thanks to Mike Kaufman and his staff, always very helpful and offer a great tournament environment for not only us here in the booth, they make our lives very easy, but for the tournament competitors, a top-notch atmosphere to claim a national title. These competitors are back on the fresh, the 40-foot pattern used for this week. Yesterday they started their opening block on it, and then round 2 was on the burn. So no re-oil, so the lanes got to sit for an hour or two. 10 to 15 minutes of practice, and then it's time to go once again. So they got beat up pretty bad. So we saw some folks take advantage of the oil moving around. Some others had some struggles. So that's all a part of the versatility in an event like this, I should say, which brings people to the top of the standings. As soon as standings have updated after 1, we'll be sure to let you know. So for right now, sit back and enjoy game number 2 here in the final qualifying block, the 2016 Senior Queens. It's a Wednesday, it's the middle of the week, so it's time to start planning for that weekend. So tune on some Bowl TV and check it out. All right, folks, standings have updated after our opening game here in round 3 of qualifying, and our 2-time defending champion, Robin Romeo, the USBC and PWBA Hall of Famer, has moved into the top spot with a big 248 to kick things off. Her total 2435 or plus 235 for her event up to this point. She just stuck by Tish Johnson. Tish now at plus 227 after 205 in the opener. Barbara Batt, who had a very nice second block yesterday, including a nice 266 we saw unfold live on Bull TV. She's sitting in third at plus 156. Sharon Powers is fourth, plus 126. Sharon Aronson rounds out the top 5 with plus 99. And the all-important cut line in 32nd right now, Shelly Nell out of Silverdale, Washington. She has an 11-game total of 2103 or minus 97. Her average through 11 games, 191.18. So those are kind of our borderline numbers. First player out at the moment, Debbie Essery from Paris, Texas. She's at minus 114, so 21 pins back, but 4 games to make it up. Once again, there's a few places you can find those standings, as Jeffrey has posted in the chat room. You can find that link underneath the video here on YouTube if you go down to the description area. And also on bull.com/Senior Queens. Your one-stop shop for all information concerning this great event. Click on the 2016 results to find that link as well. We have the oil pattern, as well as the tournament roster and the information. You can check out the schedule as well to see when all the excitement's taking place here at the Orleans. Of course, at the end of the day, we'll have a recap on bull.com. Get a few thoughts from some folks who are still undefeated through the first 2 opening rounds of match play. We'll have a total of 4 rounds today, kicking off at 1 p.m. local time here in Las Vegas. It's 4 p.m. Eastern. With the first 2 rounds of the winner's bracket. Then we'll be back at 5:30 local time, 8:30 Eastern, for the first 2 rounds of the elimination bracket. So it is a double elimination match play, so you can lose 1 match. It just have to win on out then if you want to take home the tiara. Match play bracket will consist of 3-game matches with total pinfall determining the winner. The way I believe the schedule to work, we'll actually just be focusing on 1 pair at a time for that, since they will be skipping pairs. But we'll wait and see and adjust as necessary. Nice break on the 10 there for Deborah Lee, joining us from Canada. As we mentioned, we have quite a few international players as well, including 2 on 19 and 20. They're both looking to convert their spares here in frames 6 and 7 respectively. Jenny Burton Douglas from Australia and Margarita Ramos from Mexico. Jenny takes care of the baby split. A little celebration afterwards, nothing wrong with that. Nice shot from Lucy Sandlin, delivering her second strike of game 2. Lucy, one of the 12 competitors who find themselves on the right side of plus so far through 11. A total of 12 players averaging 200 or better so far for the week. Let's get Robin Romeo at the top of the leaderboard at the moment, averaging 221 for her 11 games throughout the course of the event. Tish Johnson 8 pins behind, excuse me, at a 220 plus clip. Definitely not surprised to see those two near the top of the standings. They've battled for the title the past 2 years, with the Robin getting the best of Tish in both 2014 and 2015. We'll get to see how it all unfolds here live on Bowl TV. Wire-to-wire coverage of the 2016 Senior Queens, including the stepladder finals. They'll be tomorrow, Thursday, starting at approximately 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 local time. Here in Las Vegas, Pam Buckner making it 3 in a row. Looks like Lucy needs a 7-pin setup, so we'll wait for that on 18. Debbie Lee leaning on the 10 to make it 3 in a row. 10th frame underway on 17 and 18. Lucy Sandlin didn't get that one all the way back to the 1-3. So came in a little bit light left at 2-5. No problem on the spare. She can get to 184. Lisa Wasson working on a strike. Finished third at this event last year in Green Bay. Looking to improve upon that finish. Currently just trying to make the cut. Lisa is in 30th at minus 91. So she'll get a few pins closer to even here. She gets the mixer for 3 in a row. Get to 212 with one more. Definitely comes down to every hit at this point. It's make or break time, and you can look back at an overall block and might have had missed spares here or there or lost opportunities, but right now, if you're in position, gotta get as many pins as you can. Great finish from Lisa there, 212. Tough break for Lilia though. Staring down a 7-10. She can get one to get to 202. Man, she has something in store for us here. See if she can pop it out. And gets the 7-pin only. 202 for her. Deb Lee. Working on a few strikes in a row. Crosses over, leaves the 610. She's was sitting in 23rd heading into this game at minus 51. Miscue from Ramos. She was outside of the number in 36th heading into this game. She finished with 182. Michelle Silver was just inside the number in 25th at minus 60. She'll finish with 196 with the last 3. Pam Buckner and Jenny Burton Douglas a little bit further back in the standings. Buckner in 54th. Burton Douglas tied for 57th. So they'll need 3 big games to finish up qualifying. 210 on the nose for Deb Lee. Burton Douglas unable to cover, but we'll finish with 209. So gain a few pins back there. That's what I meant to say. So that will conclude Game number 2 of 5 in the final round of qualifying at the 2016 USBC Senior Queens. We're here at the Orleans in Las Vegas, Nevada. We'll be staying here and moving to Extra Frame starting on Saturday as the Queens makes their way to town. I've already seen some of those competitors, whether just here at the center or if you have partaked at the USBC Women's Championships taking place at the South Point Bowling Plaza a few miles south of here. Right now, we're waiting for Game 3 to kick off, so don't go too far. We'll be back here on Bowl TV with Game 3 in just a moment. Thanks again for tuning in. All right, Game 3 underway here on our featured pairs. On 17 and 18, we have Yolanda Garrett, Carol Jones, and Terry Ward joining us. On 1920, Debbie Colby, Della Collenbeck, Mandy Wilson, and 2011 Senior Queens champion Paula Vidal. So as soon as we have an update through 2, we'll let you know. These players make their final push to make the top 32 or solidify their spot in the standings. In the hopes of getting one of those top seeds and a nice spot in the bracket. Terry Ward is leading the way out of our featured bowlers here in squad, or in round number 3, I should say. 443 for her first 2. So coming out of the gates at a 220 plus clip. Terry found herself in 17th place at -28 after 1 game, so she might improve upon that standing. Once again, finishing 200 plus in game 2. When we get the full standings for 2, we'll let you know. As Terry Ward gets ready to step up for her 4th frame, we got to mention she captured the 2015 Triple Crown Shootout title, defeating Hall of Famer Linda Kelly in the finals. Kelly also participating here this week. But for Terry, she had to win quite a few matches to make her way into the title match. Ended up defeating Christy Witcher, Tish Johnson, and Robin Romeo on her way there. Definitely a nice win for Terry. We now have standings through 2. The top spot switching back and forth. Tish Johnson back into the lead at +250. She's 1 pair to our left on 15 and 16 right now. She has 106 or 104 in the 6th frame. But she's at +250, 13 pins ahead of Robin Romeo at +237. Barbara Batt holding on to that 3rd spot at +170. New name in the top 5, Penny Fenneman from Sweet Home, Oregon. I just like saying that town. That's a great town name. But Penny Shot 245 in game 2 to move to plus 137 to move into 4th. Sharon Aronson holds on to that 5th spot at plus 115. Michelle Carter is in 6th place at plus 103. Sharon Powers in 7th at plus 96. Christy Witcher 8th, plus 79. Beth Owen Chipalewski plus 57 in 9th. And Paula Vidal at plus 50 rounds out our top 10. Minus 138, the number to make the top 32. Once again, Shelly Nell holding on to it. Debbie Essery still first one out. She's at minus 146 along with Pam Spro. Once again, the big thing is just making it to the round of 32. Since all pinfall drops once we head into the double elimination match play bracket. So you never know what can happen in those 3-game matches. We've seen it before, we'll see it again, and we'll see it starting today on Bowl TV. We'll have about a 2-hour break to re-oil. We'll let the competitors get some lunch, and then we'll be back at it here at the Orleans. For the opening round of the winner's bracket, starting at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. Once again, your one-stop shop for that. YouTube.com/BowlTV. Of course, all information about the event, bowl.com/Senior Queens. Paula has to have a smile on her face after that one. Nice trip on a shot she probably did not plan on striking, so take them when you can get them. As we mentioned, Paula holding on to the 10th spot at plus 50. Mandy Wilson is right near the bubble line. She's in 31st. At minus 116, so she's got 22 pins between her and the cut line. Yolanda Garrett with a nice start here in game 3. 4 out of 6 strikes. Carol Jones still looking for that first strike. Deliver, oh, second strike, excuse me. Gets a second one in the 7th. Looking for her first double still. To make up for open in the 2nd. Nice trip of the 610 for Yolanda. She's sitting in a tie for 22nd coming into this game at minus 64. Carol Jones at 1 spot ahead of Yolanda at minus 54, sitting in 21st. Nice shot from Paula to turn the nice hit in frame 5 into a double. In the 6th, you gotta take advantage. You do get those breaks. As Paula demonstrated there, great shot, 10 back, never a doubt. Tenth frame getting underway on 17 and 18. We had a bowler drop out of competition, so moving a little bit quicker. Also throwing a few strikes up there certainly helps the case. Yolanda Garrett looking to get into the 220s with a double here. Delivers on the first one, great shot. Once again, all three bowlers on 17 and 18 currently find themselves in the top 32, so trying to solidify their spot among this field. Double in the 10th will get Yolanda into the 220s. Definitely a big game coming down this stretch here. All right, nice 226 for Yolanda Garrett, 180 for Carol Jones. Terry Ward can get to 216 with one more strike. (17-18) all done. So all eyes over to 19 and 20. Mandy Wilson. That's a lot of 9 spares up there. Oh, that's just mean. She liked it off her hand. She's ready to celebrate. Finally getting that strike in. Just mean, 8-pin, just mean. Once again, Mandy just inside the top 32 at the moment. Was sitting at 31st heading into this game. She'll take care of the spare though, so it's a clean game, still intact. Still get to 198. .174 for Della Collenbeck. Paulo looking to bounce back after the miscue in the 9th. Leaves the 10. Can still get to 225. So she's in great shape to get settled into match play. 169 in the books for Debbie Colby. Mandy Wilson still looking for that first strike. There it is. All right, Mandy, there you go. Slaps it out. Well deserved, especially after that 8-pin last frame. Just mean. So mixes him up, takes care of business. .222, the final number for Paula. So once again, she's in very good shape to make match play with 2 to go. Mandy saving all her striking for the 10th. Now in the 190s. Nice 235 game, 1 pair to our right from Pam Lawrence. So this will be our final shot of game 3. Game 4 coming up next. So 195 for Mandy, so definitely a grind there, but stayed clean. Got a chance to throw a few strikes at the end of the game. So game 4 will be coming up next here. The final round of qualifying for the 2016 USBC Senior Queens. I'm Aaron Smith alongside Emil Williams Jr. bringing you wire-to-wire coverage of the 2016 event, which will conclude with a stepladder finals tomorrow evening. Starting at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 local time here in Las Vegas. So game 4 just a moment away. So sit tight and we'll be right back. 2 to go here in qualifying. All right, game number 4 underway here. 1 to go after this at the 2016 USBC Senior Queens. This is the final round of qualifying from the Orleans Bowling Center at the Orleans Hotel, Casino, and Spa here in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm Aaron Smith alongside Emil Williams Jr. And it's almost time to have our first cut. Going to go from the 70 players we started with down to 32 for the double elimination match play bracket. And for this game number 4, we're joined by not only the top 2 players in the standings so far this week, the last 2 players to make the championship match here at the Senior Queens. Robin Romeo on 17 and 18, the 2-time defending champion, and Tish Johnson, who's been the runner-up at this event the past 3 years. Both of them USBC and PWBA Hall of Famers. They both have put on impressive performances this week. Really running away from the rest of the field. Joining Robin on lanes 17 and 18 is Gail Smith. He's stepping up on 17 in a moment. Linda Andrews is making her way to 18. And Susan O'Hara. On 19 and 20, along with Tish, is Gloria Gates and Lynn Minnie. We posted a photo on the official USBC Twitter page. That's at USBC for anyone looking to follow. Of Tish receiving her award for leading the second round of qualifying. She's being presented the award by Mike Kaufman, who pretty much makes sure everything here runs spick and span. So big thanks to Mike and his crew for everything they do to help us with these events. We have a great facility here in Las Vegas. Once again, a big thanks to everyone for joining us here in Bowl TV throughout the week. Whether you're here for a few frames or you've been here as long as we have, we certainly appreciate the support, as do all these players out here. Getting the opportunity to showcase these top senior players. Worked out with the schedule this year, so we're certainly happy to bring this to you live. These competitors also will have the chance to compete in the Queens, which will begin on Saturday right here at the Orleans. More than 250 of the top players from across the globe will be in town. Most of them have already made their way. We've seen them walking through the center. Some have been bowling at the USBC Women's Championships just across town at the South Point Bowling Plaza. But certainly, Vegas is the place to be. Not that it wasn't already, but even more reasons now. So much great bowling going on in this town. Already a great bowling community as it is. It's awesome that all these events can be held all across this great town. All right, we now have standings updated through game 3. Tish shot 200 to maintain that plus 250 mark, and it was enough to maintain the lead as well. A 13-game total of 2850 is good for a 219.23 average. Robin shot 202 to get a little bit closer. She's at plus 239, sitting in second. So 11 pins separates them right now, and that would be the difference if they both struck out right now. So Robin would gain those 11 pins back. How about that? Barbara Bett holding on to third, plus 172. Penny Fenneman still in fourth, plus 121. And Sharon Aronson holding on to that fifth spot at plus 106. In sixth, Sharon Powers, plus 92. Michelle Carter in seventh at plus 83. Paula Vidal moves up to eighth with that 222 game, plus 72. Beth Owen Chipileski is at plus 62 in ninth, and Christy Witcher rounds out the top 10 at plus 59. Only one other player is plus, that's Linda Kelly at plus 29. Scrolling down to that cut line. Continues to be held down by Shelly Nell of Silverdale, Washington. She's been there pretty much all 3 games so far. She's at minus 127. First player out, Lynn Lucy out of Wisconsin. She's at minus 153, so there's a little separation there with 2 to go. Robin makes it 4 in a row, gets him to kick. Tish does the same for 3 in a row. Also gets the 7 to kick out. Just a reminder, folks, 1 game left of qualifying to go after this. The 5th game of the day, 15th so far of the tournament. We'll have a quick break after that for give or take about 2 hours. We'll start up again 1 p.m. local time, 4 Eastern, for the opening matches, the double elimination bracket. 4 in a row for Tish Johnson, the USBC and PWBA Hall of Famer, leading the way here at the 2016 Senior Queens, looking to extend that mark over Robin Romeo and the rest of the field. Still get to 259 this game with 3 in the 10th. Good shot there by Gloria Gates, unable to get the 10 out. Lynn Minning had the same thing. Those pesky 10 pins creeping up here. Linda Andrews covers up the spare. She's rebounded nicely after a few early opens. Put together a 4-bagger, can now finish with 214. As we're just about ready for the 10th frame here in game number 4. Pretty cool to have 2 USBC and PWBA Hall of Famers rolling right next to each other. Gloria Gates gets the hit after that 10 pin was a little pesky last time. Trips them all out. Sends the messenger at the 610. Susan O'Hara nearly does the same. That one's going to have to get set up though. 2:45 in the books for Tish Johnson. She's going to maintain her lead over the rest of the Senior Queens field. Robin Romeo was the next closest competitor, and we'll get to see her 10th frame up in a second. She can max out at 238 with 3 strikes. Gloria Gates in the books at 170. Lynn Minning can still get to 173. The conversion for Linda Andrews will get her to 204. We have Gail Smith in the books at 152. One pair to our left, Mandy Wilson, after having that all-spare game through 9 last game before finding a few strikes at the end. For 198, gonna be in the 240s this game, so saving all our strikes, putting them in a row. 248 the number once again. Mandy was just inside of the number. 248 should be a big boost to give her a little bit of breathing room going into that final game. Nice finish for Romeo to get to 238. So some great performances here by our Hall of Famers. So we prepare for Game 5 in just a moment. All right, Game 4 in the books. Game 5 coming up next. The final game of qualifying here at the 2016 event. So as soon as everyone gets here, we'll be ready to go at the 2016 Senior Queens. Thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. We're not done on Bowl TV yet today, though. Game 5 next. Quick break, and then we will start match play. So Bowl TV, the place to be all day, as well as tomorrow. We'll crown a champion by the time it's all said and done. So hang in. Game 5 coming up next. Thanks again. All right, our final game is underway for qualifying on. We'll get you an update of scores as soon as we know. All right, joining us on 17 and 18, we have Jackie Wyckoff, a past women's championships titleist. Helped her team Coefficient of Friction capture the 2012 scratch title at the National Bowling Stadium in Reno, Nevada. She's joined by Judith LaRue and Cindy Vernig Sutherland. On 19 and 20, we have Melanie McAllister from Colorado Springs, Colorado. Adriana Ortega of Mexico. I believe this is the first time they've caught our feature pair. Along with Cheryl Robinson and Sharon Powers. So a little delay here on 19 and 20 with equipment not coming back. So we have the mechanic out there. So since we have this brief rain delay, we'll just send a quick reminder. 2016 USBC Senior Queens continues live on Bull TV in just a few hours. We'll have the opening rounds of match play throughout the rest of the afternoon and evening, starting at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. local time here in Las Vegas. And of course on Thursday we'll continue until we get down to the stepladder final. We'll take the top 5 to the stepladder, which is scheduled to start at approximately 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. And all that will be featured right here live on Bull TV. Be sure to check out bull.com later tonight for a recap of events. From all today's competition, of course, we'll also include that information on the official social media channels of USBC. The Sport of Bowling's on Facebook, facebook.com/USBC, and on Twitter @USBC. So give us a like, give us a follow for all the latest and greatest. All right, they're still working on lanes 19 and 20 to get that all squared away. 17 and 18 already halfway through. Jackie Wyckoff looking to take care of the single pin. No problem there. And we do have an update through 4 games. Tish Johnson, as we expected after the 2:45 game here live on Bowl TV, continues to hold on to the lead. She's at plus 295 for 14 games. Robin Romeo sits in second, plus 277, so still anything can happen there. And there's a bit of a gap between them and the rest of the field. Barbara Batt holding on to that third spot at plus 165. Penny Fenneman in fourth, plus 158. Beth Owen Chipileski making a big move to plus 85 into fifth. Paula Vidad plus 82 in sixth. Sharon Aronson drops to seventh, plus 71. She's tied with Sharon Powers. In ninth, Michelle Carter, plus 61. And rounding out the top 10, Christy Witcher at plus 49. Number 432 continues to be Shelly Nell. She's holding on. See if she can make it one more game. She's been there all day, it feels like. The Silverdale, Washington resident at minus 133. First player out, Terry Steins, minus 144. And on 19 and 20, Melanie McAllister, minus 151.
All right, folks, finishing up 17 and 18. They head into the 8th frame. Along with Aaron Smith, Emil Williams Jr. here with you. A spare from Jackie Wyckoff. The 310 in the final game. Aaron just ran down the standings for them. Question in the chat about Mandy Wilson. From where I can see, it looks like she just finished the 7th. Can't get a good look at her score. She's over on lanes 9 and 10. See, of course, 19 and 20 being tended to. Always wonder about the possibilities of what might happen there. They could move, they could not. We'll wait and see what's happening. A quick look again at the cut line. Right now, minus 133. Average of 190.5. That is Shelly Nell. Terry Steins is 11 pins back in 33rd. 18 pins back of the number was Melanie McAllister of Colorado Springs in 34th. Margarita Ramos was close as well. She's at minus 160. Look at Sydney Vernick Sutherland. Here's the shot from Sutherland. A little light, leaves a 2-pin. He's in the 9th frame. Judith LaRue stepping up, looking for 4 in a row in the 9th frame. Again, match play begins at 1 p.m. local time here in Las Vegas, 4 p.m. Eastern. All 32 players will have winners matches on the burn as well. That 1 p.m. squad will be on the fresh. And then at 5 p.m. we have the first elimination bracket matches at 5 p.m. again local time. 8 competitors will be eliminated then. 20 minutes after the completion of that round, we'll bowl one more where 8 more competitors will be eliminated, and that will do it for the evening. And match play continues tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. again at local time, 12 or noon Eastern time. 8 winners and 8 elimination bracket bowlers. 4 will be eliminated. That will be followed by more matches at 10:45. 4 winners and 8 elimination bracket bowlers, where 4 will be eliminated there. Continuing to move on until we'll have top 5 step ladder finals. Of course, 2 winners. The bowl for the number 1, number 2 seed at 12:30. 4 remaining elimination bracket bowlers will bowl later that afternoon. Actually, not too much later. It'll be 20 minutes after completion of the previous round. Competitors on 19 and 20 have been moved to what looks to be down on 7 and 8. So unfortunately, if you were looking to see Cheryl Robinson and Sharon Powers, for example, they will now be on 7 and 8. And along with Melanie McAllister and Adriana Ortega, also on now 7 and 8. So we will see what our cameras can get for you, as just about everyone else is in the 10th frame. They'll be the final match or the final game. We'll check again the standings, making sure, see where they are. Of course, Sharon Powers bowled very well. She's near the top, as Jackie Wyckoff will finish out here the 10th frame. It's a really good conversion there. She'll take 3 and finish with 163, 169. Rennick Sutherland, Judith LaRue will end things here on 17 and 18. Shelly Nell just out to our right. Miss Johnson has completed competition. She is about 3 pairs away. I can see her name on that final recap on the screen. Cannot make out her score completely. There is a 2 in front of it, that I can tell, so that's always a good sign. Again, Tish had the slim lead for the leader after qualifying today. 14, she led after 10 yesterday. Robin Romeo is also complete. Looks like 223, but I can't make that official yet. Again, from what I can see just on the screens here, a little further away. It's very possible. Robin Romeo scored not enough to go around Tish Johnson, but again, all of that unofficial. And it will be unofficial for probably another half hour. If you're just joining us, 19 and 20 competitors had to be moved down to 7 and 8, so they will be the final pair to complete competition. I had a quick opportunity to go down and check out. Tish Johnson, 211 on the scoreboard. Again, that is her 5th game, so she has completed competition with that 211. Robin Romeo, 223. So not enough. To make that jump. Well, let me double check. Let's get some quick math going. Robin may have done it. 873. Tish finishes with 1084 on the day. Okay, unofficially, Tish Johnson at 3306. Robin Romeo at 3300. Again, unofficially, but my math should be correct. I even used a calculator. But Tish Johnson should be your top seed after qualifying. plus 6 pins in that department over Robin Romeo. But again, the official tallies will not come. Those of you still hanging around, well, turn the cameras a little bit, see if we can get a little bit of lanes 7 and 8. Of course, I mentioned the 19 and 20 had to be moved, so they are now the lone bowlers in competition.
Ladies and gentlemen, we do have one match for the final round. It's been slightly delayed. As soon as those ladies complete their last game and they get their scores in quick, we will post the top 32 and we'll get our match board set to go. Appreciate your patience. It'll be just a few minutes. Thank you.
Not much there, folks, but you certainly don't want to see dark lanes. But we give you what we can, considering the circumstances. Yes, indeed, we try and do what we can as far as keeping some scores for you, but the key word there, Corrine, is unofficial. So it is not official until the tournament director enters the scores in. And that time you can hang on to what I said, but of course either way, Tish will be in match play, either first or second, but again on my tally, she is first, Robin Romeo second by 6 pins. Like getting their final few practice shots in. Again, bowling on that pair. That is 7 and 8, originally on 19 and 20. Melanie McAllister, also of Colorado Springs, California. Adriana Ortega from Mexico. Cheryl Robinson from Hebbett, California. And Sharon Powers from Lakewood, Colorado. Standings-wise, again, after 14. Sharon Powers was tied for 7th at plus 71. Ortega was 18th at minus 43. It's like practice has been completed down there. McAllister was 34th. And so the all-important game for her in game 5, her opportunity to qualify for match play essentially is on the line. Did not get a chance to see what Shelly Nell finished with. Shelly was the cut line. Last shot I saw from her, she left a 10 pin, I believe, on the first shot of the 10th frame. She could have shot 180, if I'm not mistaken. See if I can get a rundown of that. I'm sure that'll be difficult to do as the scores are being inputted currently. Match play is 4:00 p.m. Eastern Time. That is correct. 1 p.m. local Pacific here in Las Vegas. We appreciate everybody still tuning in. You've been with us this morning, throughout the morning, and throughout yesterday as well. We certainly appreciate you tuning in. Shout out to Mark London. Mark, good to see you. Watching some great bowling, of course. Mark, a great bowler in his own right. Always seems to make us work at the Open Championships, which is a good thing. Bowls are bowling pretty quick. Down there, they're already through 2 frames. As it gets closer, I will go down and try to get some score updates for you. I know we've got some fans in the chat room, specifically for Melanie McAllister. So try to do what I can for you. Again, the cut line was Shelly Nell at -133 after 14 games. Everyone, all competitors, minus lanes 7 and 8, have completed 15 games of competition. They've completed 5 today due to a minor breakdown on 19 and 20. The game 5 featured pair competitors were moved down to 7 and 8. So there you see this relatively wide shot of 7 and 8 to give some sense of how those individuals are bowling. Those wondering, again, Melanie McAllister, Adriana Ortega, Cheryl Robinson, and Sharon Powers completing their 5th game currently. We do not have any final standings for Game 5 because Game 5 is still ongoing for some. All of the screens with monitors have been turned off, so I can't give you any recaps. I was able to see Tish Johnson and Robin Romeo's scores prior to them being turned off. Terry Steins was also on that cut line as well. She was 33rd going into game 14. I'll see what I can come up with momentarily. Be right back. Brooks, if you're still around, we appreciate it. Was able to get a couple scores, not many, as we will keep it live until the top 32 are officially announced. But Terry Steins shot 168 final game. That will bring her round 3 total. .968 again on the day. Her 15 game total. It's 28-24. Again, that is unofficial. Shelly Nell did shoot 183. As I mentioned earlier, thought that might have been the number. Again, Shelly was 32nd, Terry 33rd. And of course, there's a few people really from 28th through 32nd. Sandy Schultz was 28th at -121. Robin Flynn was 29th at -122. Deborah Lee was 30th at -123. Debbie Essery was 31st at -125. So really, to be completely certain, we would need all of those scores just to make sure. Shelly Nell, again, the 183 brings her total today 932 for round 3. She is at 28.50, again unofficially. So if we use that, Melanie McAllister, based on the 28.50 number of Shelly Nell as the cut line, would need 201 to tie, 202 to get in. Again, those are unofficial numbers simply because we do not have, at the very least, places 28 or 27 to 31. So that is where we are. That is where we stand. And in 1 second, I will go down and check out the official scores for the 4 competitors. Again, Adriana Ortega also bowling. She was 18th at -43. You'd imagine, of course, she should be in. Sharon Powers bowled well. She is +71. Certainly should be just fine as well. And Cheryl Robinson. Cheryl was 36, though she was right behind Melanie McAllister by 17 pins heading into the final game. So that's some good action going on here for game 15. A little extra drama, but it's what you love. You got to get into match play. 2 players near the cut line on the same pair of lanes. Looks like some are finishing up the ninth. In fact, they just completed the ninth frame. Ellen McAllister up. That hit the pocket. It sounded like a 10-pin. I see a full rack on the board. No problem, Corrine, and we appreciate you still hanging on. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being fans of these competitors, and thanks for being a fan of the sport. I'm pretty sure that was a big double. Mel, I'll be right back. Give you the official number momentarily. 1 second.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the final round of qualifying for the 2016 Senior Queens. It'll take us a few minutes to post these scores and check the ties. First place that you'll see it is on the big scoreboard down by lane 1. And I will announce them top 32
All right,
as
folks.
soon as we have them.
So you can hear
And then
Greg
we'll
Moore,
work on the bracket board. Ladies,
German director,
that
on the
lady
microphone.
will be called to your lane
Melanie
precisely
McAllister
at
finished with
12:45.
186 in game
12:45
15.
will be called to your starting lane.
Overall, in
Thank you for your
game
patience,
5,
everyone.
here in round 3, her unofficial total currently is 28.35, which currently is below Shelly Nell, who was 32nd going into game 15. Again, all unofficial, and again, as I mentioned, a lot of scores that we don't have. Really, most importantly, places 27 through 31. So we'll keep it live for you here. Those wondering also, Cheryl Robinson finished with 172. Her unofficial total now 28.04. Will not be enough there. Adriana Ortega shot 198. But she was in 18th, lost a couple pins, drops to minus 41. But she should be firmly in, of course. And Sharon Power shot 200 even So another solid game for Sharon from Lakewood, Colorado. Of course, she loses no pins or does not gain any. She will remain at plus 71. So we'll hang out briefly. There is a projector screen down on lanes 1 and 2. I have a good view of that. That will be the first place they will appear. More than likely, Greg or someone will announce all 32, or they may just say, hey, take a look at the projector screen, and I'll let you know if I can. Who's in, who's out. There's time to run down 1 through 32, certainly will. Of course, you can check bowl.com, the updated standings, once they are entered. Just click refresh there if you have that link already open for today's standings. Round 3. Wide shot still, as you see. Bowling has been complete. And Aaron Smith early on, he's been here. Aaron actually had to mosey on over to South Point when there are no other events. Of course, Aaron spends his time at the Women's Championships. I believe he had new diamond team leaders last night, and potentially some new doubles and singles leaders in set categories as well. So Aaron went over to check that out, make sure he was good to go. My name is Emil Williams Jr., folks. We appreciate you tuning in. Aaron and I have been here since yesterday. Brought you rounds 1 and 2. Round 3, of course, we'll have match play beginning at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Match play with the 32 participants, including two-time defending champion Robin Romeo. I'd imagine the score, this won't take too long, simply because the delay, and with everyone else being complete with competition, allow the tournament staff and crew to begin the entering of scores. While last game 5 or game 15 for that final pair were ongoing. So they'll need to double check, of course, for ties. We did have a couple of those after 14 games. Appreciate you, Randy, for hanging around and watching. Again, everything, of course, live and archived on the Bowl TV YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe and be alerted, of course, when some new events have been scheduled. Get some reminders when some are forthcoming. We'll have plenty more live streamings going on. In fact, I believe it's the next one, aside from Senior Queens, the Queens, Women's Championships, final Open Championships live streams coming up in the next couple of months as well, all on Bowl TV. If you're a fan of the PWBA, you see many of these women, even at the senior level, still out there competing. Saw several in the first couple of weeks. Bowl TV on Extra Frame. So if you're a subscriber to Extra Frame, that is where you can see all of our PWBA live stream coverage throughout the weekends. Of course, the Queens next week, that will be on Bowl TV. The next PWBA standard event is the Wichita Open, June 2nd through the 6th or the 5th. Myself, Terry Bigham, Jason Thomas will be out and about in Wichita. Check the PWBA.com schedule, attorney schedule, so you can be aware of what's going on that particular tour. So a lot of great bowling going on. It's exciting. It's exciting to find out the final 15 game tallies as well. Again, we are live at the Orleans Bowling Center inside the Orleans Hotel and Casino.
Who you chit-chatting with?
You? That was Tish Johnson coming by. Tish and Melanie. I know we had a lot of fans representing the state of Colorado, and specifically Tish and Mel. That's what it's all about, folks. Kind of rooting for who you like. You got some friends, some family. Even if you're just a fan of the sport, I think we had just general fans in our chat room earlier, just fans of the sport who love to watch bowling. And that is what we are here to do, provide that for you when we can. For those wondering, we are just awaiting the final tallies for the top 32 match play participants here at the Senior Queens. There was a brief delay. Competitors had to move lanes, and so that delayed things for a little bit. And now we are awaiting the final number. I hate personally leaving without giving those who may want to know, of course, that instant gratification. It's almost like it's kind of like winning and losing. Going to give you that sense of what took place before we head off the air. Of course, you can find all of the updated stats once they are made available on bowl.com. Check the tournaments tab. Scroll down to the senior portion. You'll find the Queens, the Senior Queens there. And all of the information you need from the tournament schedule, general information, past champions, previous results, all there for you. Thanks certainly the great staff here at the Orleans. Certainly taking care of things, and saw them working on the pair that needed to be worked on as well. Sure that's good to go, I'm sure, for next round. Folks, we'll only have 32 participants when we begin things at 4 p.m. Eastern. It'll be match play, it's double elimination. And that's kind of where the real game begins in a sense. Match play, a different animal, of course, qualifying total pins. Be 3-game match play there, total pins will win as well. But match play is kind of one-on-one, mano a mano. There's some strategy, there can be some strategy involved. And it's a different world a little bit mentally also, in my opinion. Not really out or ever out of a game unless, of course, things start off where, you know, someone shoots 300, maybe you shoot 150. That certainly won't help, but with 2 games left, we've seen matches in many events start off in similar fashion, and all of a sudden transition takes place, bowlers lose their look, and the opponent gains a look, and all of a sudden it's anybody's match with 5 frames left in game 3. So that's the kind of excitement that you should expect to see this afternoon and well into tomorrow until a step ladder is decided. 5 participants and then a champion will be crowned. Someone will have a tiara placed on the top of their head, winning the Senior Queens. Will it be Robin Romeo? Looking for the unprecedented 3rd title. She would be the first to win 3 consecutive and just the 2nd overall to win 3 Senior Queens championships. Will it be Tish Johnson, who unofficially should have the lead headed into the match play portion this afternoon? She has finished 2nd in 2013, 2014, and 2015, the last 2 years, to, of course, the aforementioned Romeo. I was out there yesterday after the first round, or excuse me, the 2nd round, first day of qualifying. Talked a little bit about, of course, how she played the lanes, her game plan, but said she wanted to win this event. She's been close, clearly, several times. And so that is the focus for Tish this week. Or will it be anyone else? There's a ton of great bowlers in this field. We saw Barbara Batt, Penny Fitman, Beth Owen, Chip Oleski, Paula Vidal. Vidal, of course, past champion. Sharon Aronson was bowling very well throughout. Saw Sharon Powers earlier. Hall of Famer Linda Kelly. All right, folks, their scores are up. Tish Johnson is your leader, plus 306. Robin Romeo, plus 300. Good to know my math was correct. Barbara Batt, third. Penny Fitman, fourth. Paula Vidal, fifth. Beth Owen Chipolesky, sixth. Sharon Powers, seventh. Christy Witcher, eighth. Sharon Aronson, ninth. Michelle Carter, 10th. Linda Kelly, 11th. Karen Barkal, 12th. Lilia Johnson, 13th. Julie Harrison, 14th. Lucy Sandelin, 15th. Yolanda Garrett, 16th. Tie for 17th between three players, Terry Ward, Carol Teal, and Shar Hamill. 20th, Karen Miller. 21, Adriana Ortega. Roseanne Costanzo, 22nd. Mandy Wilson, 23rd. Carol Jones, 24th. 25th is Lisa Wasson. Deborah Lee, 26th. Jeanette Baker, 27th. Michelle Silver, 28th. Sandra Schultz, 29th. Robin Flynn, 30th. 31st is Shelly Nell. And 32nd, Melanie McAllister at minus 165, just edging out Lynn Lewis by 2 pins. How about that, folks? So that was worth the wait for all the Tish and Mel fans in the chat room. Again, Melanie McAllister does get in by 2 pins over the 33rd qualifier Lynn Lewis from Wisconsin at minus 165. So congratulations to all 32 match play participants and competitors. Again, check bowl.com. I will double check and make sure that the link will refresh for you as well. It will. Again, if you don't know where that is, USBC, check out the description underneath USBC Senior Queens, underneath the title there on the YouTube page, and click on qualifying round 3. Again, Melanie McAllister is your 32nd qualifier. She will make match play at minus 165, just edging out Lynn Lewis. I will double check on the PDF. There it is, folks. You'll be able to see it as well. So Melanie is in the Senior Queens field, and she'll have an opportunity to win a Senior Queens title from the match play portion. Again, check out all of the standings on bowl.com. Well, folks, I guess we kept you long enough. That will do it for us here. I'm going to go grab a little lunch, check on the women's championships, see what work we may need to do in that regard. We will see you at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific for match play as that competition begins. We'll have a winner's bracket and elimination bracket. Of course, it is double elimination. So we'll talk to you in about an hour and a half or so, and we'll have all of that action for you in 1 second. We will make sure that Tournament Director Greg Moore has any pending announcements. We'll leave you with Greg Moore, if you can hear him.
Plus 306 is Tish Johnson. Number 2, Robin Romeo. 3, Barbara Batt. 4, Penny Fitman. 5, Paula Vidal. 6, Beth Owen Chipolesky. 7, Sharon Powers. 8, Christy Witcher. 9, Sharon Aronson. 10, Michelle Carter. 11, Linda Kelly. 12, Karen Barkal. 13, Lilia Johnson. 14, Julie Harrison. 15, Lucy Sandlin. 16, Yolanda Garrett. 17, Terry Ward. 18, Shar Hamill. 19, Carol Teal. 20, Karen Miller. 21, Adriana Ortega. 22, Roseanne Costanzo. 23, Mandy Wilson. 24, Carol Jones. 25, Lisa Wasson. 26, Deborah Lee. 27, Jeanette Baker. 28, Michelle Silver. 29, Sandra Schultz. 30, Robin Flynn. 31, Shelly Nell. And our 32nd qualifier, Melanie McAllister. Congratulations to all.
Again, 32nd, Melanie McAllister, folks. Tish Johnson, your top seed. Melanie McAllister, the 32nd seed. The cut line -165 officially for an average of 189 even. For Aaron Smith, my name is Emil Williams Jr. Folks, we'll see you and we'll talk to you at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, right here on Bull TV. See you soon.